for most of my life. Even since I was a kid, I was a teacher, instructor, leader, or coach.
Before you got here, you were that. You're a teacher to the very core of your being.
Yeah, I feel that. But I'm struggling with this sort of uphill battle of education. To be blunt, I constantly feel like this field either asks me to prove my worth by documenting everything, getting more degrees or certifications, or trying to rationalize why something is worth the money, whether it's the staff, projects, tools, etc. I don't think this is just a symptom of education, but it feels particularly strong now as I watch money, funds, teachers, grants, research get cut left and right.
Well, every bit of what you're saying and every bit that you'd like to keep saying that we're stopping before you get too far into it, all right with you?
Yeah.
Everything that you're saying is true in the sense of that's the way they're playing the game and that's what. However, you heard how we began, and what we want to point out to you is that we said to Esther, and she's been translating it for us ever since, and it's such a powerful tipping point. Is this your opinion, or your intention? Well, because your opinion is all about what you've been seeing and how it's been feeling, but your intention can be something else. And so we know that what you want is this, but what you said just now was that and that and that. And we know that's the basis of these kinds of questions. We get why that's happening. But what we want you to hear from us is that when you are decided, and we're not just talking about decided by giving it lip service. Esther coined a really cute phrase. She was so proud of herself. The only service you get around here is lip service. Great service, but it's all lip service. Well, dun, dun, dun. Not good for her point of attraction. Funny, but not good for her point of attraction. And so what we want to point at you in a stronger way so that you can hear it is that your words that you may be speaking about your desire or intention are not being contradicted by these words. These words are just evidence of the contradiction that exists within you that you are interpreting with these words. So you're explaining how it is instead of what's becoming. On the broadcast the other day, we started out with almost the same sort of thing that we're starting out here with. Someone with powerful intention and powerful observation. Only, unlike you, she went back and forth a little more than you did. You went bump, 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 bump. But back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So we told her a story. Some of you have heard this story, and it's a ridiculous story. So before Esther knew Jerry, he was an entertainer. And for quite a long stretch of that time, he was a master of ceremonies in different arenas, usually big arenas, not always, but usually. And so he had a gig, as he called it. He was the master of ceremonies in a big arena in Canada. And the prime minister was there to address. Long time ago, it was Diefenbacher. Long time ago. And so Jerry wanted to get his picture taken for his portfolio because, like you say, all of the stuff all the requirements. And so he decided that he was going to get his picture taken with the prime minister. And everyone said, no, it's not possible. When he asked permission, no, it's not possible. Well, he didn't take no for an answer because somehow his stubbornness let him know that he was the decider of what was going to happen and what was not going to happen. So he began proclaiming, I'm going to have my picture taken with the prime minister. Not to anybody that could stop him, but to everybody else. I'm going to have my picture taken with the prime minister. What would you like with your eggs, bacon, or ham? I'm going to have my picture taken with the prime minister. How much fuel would you like us to put in your tank? I'm going to have my picture taken with the prime minister. Every opportunity that he had, I'm going to have my picture taken with the prime minister. I'm going to have my picture taken with the prime minister. As he told that story to Esther, she was almost embarrassed for him because it just sounded so ridiculous. Really, Jerry? Did you really say that to everybody? Everybody. I'm going to have my picture taken with the prime minister. I'm going to have my picture taken with the prime minister. And what happened during that 3-month period between the time that he knew he was going and the time that he actually showed up there, he convinced his own vibrational frequency that he was going to have his picture taken with the prime minister because he did not allow a contradictory thought into the conversation. If somebody was going to give him a contradictory thought, he ignored them. He stayed away from them. He went nowhere that would dilute his intention. So he hired a photographer. What do you need? I'm going to have my picture taken with the prime minister. The photographer was local. He said, oh, that's unlikely. He said, I've been around here. Jerry said, I'm going to have my picture taken with the prime minister. Well, I'm going to have my picture taken with the prime minister. The dignitaries are going to be over here and they're going to be there and I'll be at the microphone and I'll go to announce them and I'll just stumble and fall and I'll get hold of his hand and you get over there and you get the shot. You get the shot. And the photographer said, I need to be paid in advance. And so Jerry paid him in advance, and he showed up. So he goes to this big arena. There's nothing going on in the arena except the people that are looking for bombs. They're taking all of the speakers apart and looking under all of the chairs. And Jerry is there, and as he walked in, it was just those people doing the work, and one little lady with white hair sitting right in the front row, and Jerry just went and sat right down next to her, and she said, hello, and he said, hello, I'm going to have my picture taken with the Prime Minister. And she says, you are? And he said, yes, I'm going to have my picture taken with the Prime Minister. And she said, well, my son is a Minister of Parliament, and I'm here, I'll arrange that for you. And so it was prearranged, and they stood together before the ceremony started, and Jerry got his picture taken with the Prime Minister. But when you think about it, most people are not willing to be so determined that they don't care what anybody else thinks about anything, but it's decisiveness. And we don't mean decisiveness of how you're going to bang it into place. We mean decisiveness of what you want. Because your inner being is like all of the cooperative components times millions. When you're decided about something, it does not matter what anybody else thinks about it. You can have what you want, meaning you can be effective even within the existing structure. The existing structure can be different than it is just for you. You can be the exception to everything when you've decided something in a powerful way. And until you do, there's no answer. Until you do, you are at the mercy of stupid rules and stupid things that really don't have anything to do with you. Your ability to teach is your ability to uplift. And your ability to uplift is your ability to attract. And your ability to attract is your ability to have your bag of marbles under your control so that what you're attracting from everybody matches what you want. When you get clear like that and only the marbles that match what you want are active, anybody's marbles that are different than that can't enter into the equation. This is law. This is law. That's why you see all kinds of people. Seems like the ones that break all the rules are the ones that everything works out for. Seems like that. But it's a law of attraction thing. It's not a disservice thing, and it's not a lucky thing, and it's not a karma thing. It's an attraction thing, period.
So that was kind of the essence of my question, in that I feel like I keep having to prove myself to these people or prove my work, or other people.
Well, therein lies your problem.
But that's the tweak that I just realized, is rather than I don't need to prove my value or my work.
When was the last time that you let the universe give you what you want without justifying it in any way? That's what we said to Esther. When was the last time that you just let it come without justifying it through jumping through some hoops that in many cases are full of contradiction? You have to see yourself and feel yourself as this blessed, worthy, ready to receive.
That's the belief shift right there that I just had. I don't need to prove myself. I just have to say I am worthy.
You just have to know yourself.
I have to know.
You have to know yourself as that way. And look at your life. Look at it. You know this. In fairness, there's a whole lot of people that don't know it, that are running around with bags of marbles trying to convince you otherwise. And the more they don't know it, the more they puff up. And the louder they are. And the more they lay this down and lay this down and lay this down.
Can I just ask a question about that? Because that was my second part.
Let us give you a piece first, because this is going to alter your question just a little bit, we are certain. What if, and it's not what, it is this way. What if it is this way? What if you are the attractor of everything that comes to you? And what if you're holding somebody as your object of attention and you're pretty sure that they disapprove of you? You remember experiences like this where there was disapproval. So you don't, because of your past experience, you don't clean up your vibration and give them a chance to be who they are. So you don't ask for their trust or their belief because you don't believe that they're capable of it. That's not very uplifting of you. That's not what you came to teach. These are the words we had with Esther, so don't feel bad. Look at it this way. It's attraction. Drum roll, please. And it's team attraction. It's team attraction. What if I can have done my processes and focused and deliberated thought, and I'm going to have my picture taken with the Prime Minister, and I am so sure that there are wonderful people everywhere that want to know the world as I know the world. And that's how I see them. Because I'm focused upon them with my full force of clarity, just like Jesus healing. I've got this full energy of attraction going on, and I'm holding them as my object of attention. And they just can't buck my current. And they just have to love me like I love them. That's just the vibration that they have to be a part of. That is so satisfying for them. When you trust someone to help you, to love you, and there's no deviance in your vibration, oh, what a gift you give. But when you doubt them and you use your habit of negative thought about yourself as the excuse to doubt them, you're not even giving them a chance to be who they really are. Feel the power of that? You want to give people a chance to be who they really are by you being sure who you are and you knowing at the core who they are. Jerry and Esther had a dear friend. She just bothered the hell out of them. She said, we're going to go on the road with you. We're going to get a bus and we're going to go on the road with you and we're going to help you. And Jerry said, no. And she said, no, we really are. We've already bought the bus and we know what your schedule is and we're going to be there. Whether you want us to be there or not, we're going to be there. And Jerry said, all righty then. And so they just kept showing up and they just kept showing up and they just kept showing up. She was going to have her picture taken with the Prime Minister, period. And Jerry and Esther were doing everything on their own in those days. So now they had this other couple that was showing up where they were. And it was not an easy ride. They drove their bus on roads their bus shouldn't be on. And they tried to go through the New York tunnel and their bus was too tall for it. And they had to let the air out of the tires. And they didn't travel with Jerry and Esther. But they were determined that they were going to go and they were going to help them. And it got way good after a while. And so one day, Jerry said to Esther, watch Marie. Watch what she does. And Esther said, what? And Jerry said, just watch her. They were setting up. Well, Marie was really picky. One day, Esther stood at the podium and said hello and then brought Abraham in. And then when she left the podium, her hands were black because there'd been scuff marks on there. And so Marie had colored them with a magic marker because she didn't want it to look bad. And there was nothing that she wasn't willing to do. So Jerry said, just watch her. And so what Esther witnessed was Marie saying, it was a room about this size, maybe half this size. This is on the small side because you are masterful leaders of the universe. And she said, these chairs are very dirty and we can't have our clients sitting on these chairs tomorrow. And they said, well, we can't do anything about it. And Marie said, well, surely you can find some way of cleaning these chairs. And they said, well, they won't be dry. And she said, well, surely you can find some way of drying them. And they shampooed the chairs in the meeting room. And then Jerry said, you have to keep watching this because this isn't the end of the story. Those people that she had evoked that cooperation from adored her because of her knowing that they could do it. And because her over-the-moon appreciation when they did do it, you get what we're talking about. Your expectation of people that you don't trust you to be the way you need them to be, in human terms, you call it win-win. Win-win. Because you feel good when you love and expect wonderful things, and they feel good when they feel love and accomplish wonderful things. Win-win always comes from the vortex end of the stick, and lose-lose always comes in some other combination. When you don't expect someone to rise to their own expectations and to yours, lose-lose. That's all we're talking about here. Because you, as we said, are a teacher to the very core of your being. What are you here to teach? You're here to teach vibration. You're here to teach attraction. You're here to teach invincibility. You're here to teach success and prosperity and wellness and clarity and balance. That's what you're here to teach. And when you don't see it, you can't teach it. That was really good. Are you all right?
Yeah, no, I'm great. That was great. You answered the second part of my question, so we're good there. But your story, it does remind me of another story that I just want to share with you because I think it shows that Jerry Intention photographer. A friend of mine from college, we were both from the same area, Reading, Pennsylvania, and she was sitting at the dentist with a girl, and the girl's like, I'm moving to Nashville and I'm going to be famous one day. She kind of rolled her eyes. That girl is Taylor Swift.
Yeah. That's way better than the Prime Minister story.